Some of you who've been here for a while know this morning's MC, but I take it that some of you are new and do not. So I will just mention that we have with us this morning a very close friend of the Paleys, of Michal, and he was here for many years, and those who were here remember that he and his wife were part of the founding of our high schools. They were of the original major supporters, and Rabbi Glestein's connection to Rabbi Wein, Shari Torah Muncie, helped us begin our Shari Torah journey here. And so it is with great honor and pleasure that I ask Rabbi Glestein to MC.
Good morning, thank you. You really think about it, connective tissue of a community is not in its eateries, bakeries, or even the sushi bar, but it's in the people who strengthen it and transform lives. Kadosh Baruch Hu blessed Rabbi Kleshik and his wife for many years to continue doing just that. So what is today? Today is the result of 2 years of planning, preparation, logistical coordination, and a lot of heart. Today also brings a cross current of emotion. A new Torah right here. And yet, with this yahrzeit beginning tonight, a reminder of another year without Yossi Paley. But more than anything, today is the personification of a mother's unending love and longing for her son. At a bris of circumcision, it's part of a prayer. The Moel, I believe, says these 4 words: Zeh katan gadol yiheh. May this little infant become great. Seems like a pretty high bar to set at 8 days old. Perhaps you're familiar with a parable from the Chafetz Chaim, man who knew about life. That there was once a king who really wanted to decide who would succeed him, who would be the next king. How are you going to do that? Called in his 3 sons. He told them, whichever one of you can fill the small empty room next door, ceiling to floor, will be the next king. To the first son he gave $1,000, pretty big money. To the second son he gave $500. To the youngest, to the third, he gave just $50. He said, go out and buy whatever you'd like, whatever you can find. They went out, they brought back. The first son brought back cartloads of feathers. He filled it, there was a little empty space still. Second son so to speak, brought back straw. And he got further than the first son. Not quite. Little boy brings in a small paper bag. And as his two brothers are wondering, what in the world can he do that we did not? He removes a candle. A candle. And he strikes a match and illuminates the room, filling it with light. With his $10, with his $50, less than 13 years, Yossi filled the room. His brachas, his tefillos, his ma'asim tovim, and his simchas hachayim filled it. Rav Simcha Wasserman says, page 43, of a minor called, discourse called Tachlis, meaning what's it all about? He said this, a quote, said a person was created to exist among others, to be there for them, and to be a no-say. What is a no-say? A giver. Both the eulogies, the Chol and Leah that you said, were heart-wrenching, powerful, and Mekadesh Shem Shemayim. I think it was in yours, Leah. You spoke about how Yossi comported himself in various settings, and that one morning in particular at the hospital, Yossi woke up, went across his bed to retrieve his tzitzis, IV pole by his side. He went back around and started to daven, to pray. Yossi could have reached for a small overhead light. Certainly hit the call button, asked the nurse or patient care tech to do that. But all the light he needed was in that room. His mommy was in that room. No serious illness, lo aleinu, can rattle people's sense of intactness. But Yossi had everything he would ever need. He had his maker. He had his Yiddishkeit. He had his precious soul, the spark. Yossi also had a tremendous, clinically speaking, support system we call family. Yossi had Morris and Rebbeim who loved Torah, lived Torah, and instilled in Yossi and his classmates that same Avas Torah, Avas Hashem. The entire RTA family, devoted and hardworking general studies teachers, school mom Mary Schumann. Yossi had his classmates, his friends. Yossi had Goldie, Sholi, Chani, and then, at that time, little Struli. Yossi had parents, has parents and grandparents who would go anywhere and did, and do anything and did. And the best part is Yossi knew it, Michal. Because Yossi knew you. Each of you. Every community has empathetic, sensitive, and kind-hearted individuals, but very few like this one. Yours, ours. We miss you. In advance of each Jewish month, it's also a prayer. We ask the Almighty for renewal. We ask for so much more. Blessing, strength, sustenance, and Chaim shel Osher v'Kavod, a life of wealth and honor. But look at the words. We're not asking for anything we can hold. We're asking for the treasures that transcend, that Yossi took with him. Yossi left this world in a sacred ascent with all that mattered. As you said, Michal, and yours, Yossi just wanted to be an ordinary kid. And yes, he was. But he also became a gadol. He became great. Those words, those 4 words, Zeh katan gadol yiyeh, they came to be. They came to be. Tomorrow on Yossi's 18th yahrzeit, Chai, life. We will say, or more like declare. This is before we even read the first word from Yossi's Torah. Atem b'dveikim Hashem chayim chayim kolchem hayom. Those who cling, who cleave, and at times of loss, just hold on, are alive today. Yossi, your candle continues to burn brightly. It always will. And collectively, Yossi, we will never forget you. We will never forget you. May the ultimate nechama, may we all know soon, of Tzion Yerushalayim, and Heira b'yameinu. Amen. Mr. Lewis, please.
Thank you. I'd love to turn the microphone over to one of my former students instead of taking it myself, to tell you the truth. When Leah asked me if I'd say a few words today and keep it under 2 minutes, I said, probably under 20 minutes. No, I wouldn't do that. I know a lot of the people in here didn't know Yossi. You just know of him from looking at photographs and from this ceremony and looking at the things along the table over there. But if you want to have an idea of what Yossi looked like in a 3-dimensional way, look at his family. And you'll see the smiles and happiness of the Paley family. Yossi was a very happy boy. Not always happy when he had a long assignment to do before he got sick, but after he got sick, he never, ever complained. I continued to give him assignments, and he continued to do them. Rabbi Kleshtik arranged a way so that we could have a telephone conversation with Yossi to the classroom, and Yossi could participate in our classes that way. And I sometimes went to the hospital to see him and to his grandparents' house to see him when he wasn't at home. I think if you could take one lesson from Yossi, maybe it should be that instead of complaining about something, you do the best you can do and smile, just like Yossi.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Dr. Topaz, please.
Thank you for the great honor of speaking at this important event. I was Yossi's pediatrician and had just started my career when he was diagnosed with leukemia. It's hard to believe that that was 22 years ago. And yet I still frequently think about Yossi, and am certain that I'm a better physician because of my relationship with Yossi, his family, and the Jewish community. I can still remember making rounds at MCV when Yossi was first diagnosed and walking into his hospital room and seeing Yossi, his family, and this large group of friends and members of the Jewish community. I cannot remember the specific people present, but I clearly felt a strong sense of community as I saw all of the people there to support the Peleys. I had had very little interaction with any observant Jewish communities up until that moment, but I was immediately touched and continued to be impressed by the sense of community, family, love, support, obligation, and desire to take care of each other. I truly felt a sense of oneness as Jews, and importantly human beings, as we all do our best to support each other. Though I am a physician and am technically trained in a very specific way to take care of children, I have come to realize that we all have important roles to play in supporting and caring for each other. I'd like to read part of a brief passage to you that was just published on a physician social media website called Kevin MD. The article is titled, "To Parents Who Have Lost Children, We Never Forget Your Children." Parents who have lost children, I want you to know something. We don't forget your children. We mourn with you. We question every decision. We relive every moment. We think of you on holidays and special occasions. We fight against the easier path, which is to feel numb, and so that we don't have to feel the gut-wrenching pain of losing patients. Because ultimately, we want to feel with you. Medicine is a sacred art, and we choose to put our hearts in the game. Your children walk beside us every day as we practice medicine, making us better at our jobs, helping us to connect more deeply. We carry your children as we carry on. Again, I'm honored to have this opportunity to share a few of my thoughts. Thank you, Yossi, and the Peleys for the opportunity to honor Yossi and for making me a better physician and a better person.
Dr. Heyman. Topaz.
My name is On Topaz. I'm a cardiologist. I'm a father. I know the heart. I know a little bit of the soul. There is a paradoxical situation here today. In fact, you can feel that we can sit and talk about that wonderful child, Yossi, for hours, maybe for days, and somehow, we are unable to describe it precisely. We are unable to encompass all the wonderful character, the character that he had, the characteristics that he had, his beautiful smile, his wonderful soul. So, faithful to the Jewish philosophy, I humbly pose a question. Is it possible, in fact, that instead of cumulative sentences and ideas, is it possible that there is one word in Hebrew that encompasses and presents Yossi to the fullness, and in fact may even connect us to Purim and to Shabbat? And the answer, again, humbly I propose, is the word Or, Aleph Vav Reish in Hebrew, light. Or is not only the physical phenomenon that creates light. Or in Hebrew has a very deep meaning. Or in Hebrew means knowledge. Or in Hebrew means positive radiation of ideas. Or in Hebrew means blessing. Torah, for example. So with this idea, I want to propose that on this occasion, which we so frequently complete by the statement, Yehi Zichro Baruch, may I say, Yehi Zichro Or. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I consider myself very privileged to have had the opportunity to teach Yossi at the Redland Torah Academy. He was a very special Talmud. There's a famous Gemara regarding Purim. There's Chayev Inish Levesumi Bepuraya Adelo Yoda Ben Or Haman Lebaruch Mordechai. There is an obligation for a person to become inebriated on Purim to the point where he does not know the difference between the cursing of Haman and the blessing of Mordechai. And in light of the fact that in Jewish law and Jewish practice, drunkenness is considered a very despicable thing, there are many different opinions of how to explain this Gemara. There are some opinions, some rabbinic opinions, that it should be taken literally, that one actually should become so drunk on Purim. However, there are many other opinions. Some say it means that one should go to sleep and therefore not know the difference. Some say it means that you don't know the difference in the numerical values of these words. Many different opinions. I'd like to share with you what the Slonim Rebbe, the Siva Shalom, said about this. He said that it's not necessary to have any external stimuli like alcohol. What the Gemara means is that a person should rejoice and become inebriated bipuraya through Purim. That doesn't mean on Purim, but it's through Purim. That person should become so enamored with the happiness of the day of Purim that does not need any external stimuli. The day of Purim is so meaningful to us. It shows the hand of Hashem in our lives and in the history of the Jewish people. And just knowing that Hashem is there, Hashem is always with us, causes a tremendous happiness and joy. That is the day of Purim. And no external stimuli are really needed. And I feel that this describes Yossi. Yossi's essence was joy. He was intrinsically a happy boy. His essence was loving Hashem, loving Torah, loving his family and friends, and loving life. And we can all learn from Yossi to infuse our lives and our circumstances with happiness and joy. Yeh Zichro Baruch. May our remembrance of Yossi be a blessing for all of us.
What's that?
I'd like to recognize State Senator Clarence Ferdinand. Please come to the table.
right on behalf. Yes.
Senator, we're going to take like a picture of all of us. Oh, I don't know. It's all separate.
Honored to introduce the Baruch Sherman.
I'm not sure that, it's possible for the Neshama of Yossi to go any higher than it already is. But if there is a way, then this certainly might be a way. To have a Sefer Torah dedicated to Yossi, the memory of Yossi, is a remarkable thing, not just for his Neshama, but for all of us, that will use the Sefer Torah. And that's what our lives are. That's a Jewish life. The Jewish life is Torah. And just a couple of memories I had about Yossi when I taught him is that, as everybody said, his smile was a contagious smile. It was just an unbelievable smile. And the year that he learned on the phone with us, when he was in his grandparents' house, was a remarkable year for me personally and for the Talmud. And he used to participate just as if he was sitting in the class, and everybody listened to him give over his questions and answers. And we had this game, this basketball game, and he would have the basketball set up in his own little room in his grandparents' house. And we would say, okay, Yossi, it's your turn to shoot. And he would say, I made it. Yeah, I made a 10. I say, Yossi, did you really make a 10? Come on, did you? Right? And he would say, yeah, Rabbi, I made a 10. Right? Yeah. I said, okay, we're putting it on the board right now. Right? And it just was a very, very special year. I have to say that I don't know. I really thought that Yossi was going to beat this thing, and I was very shocked. And of course Hashem has his ways. Hashem knows, and He runs the world. But I just want to say that I hope this day is a true nechama for the Paley family, that they. It's been very, very, we all know how difficult this has been for the family for 18 years. And I hope that this Sefer Torah, I really hope this Sefer Torah gives nechama to not just the Paleys and the older Paleys, the grandparents, and all of the family, but should give nechama to our whole community. We should be zoicha to the Bias Goel Tzedek, B'nei Rabbi Yameinu, using for Baruch.
Mr. Paley, please.
How are you, sir? All right. We good? Yep.
I want to thank everybody for coming, especially thank my daughter-in-law and Yonatan Kanta, who has proven that even after 18 years, he's still a true friend to Yossi. Imagine what an impact Yossi would have made on the community and our family if he would not have left us at the tender age of 12 plus years. Just think of the impact he had in the short time he was with us. Eileen and I think about him every day. and try our best to honor his memory. We love you, yes, man. May your beautiful, sweet soul always rest in peace. Thank you.
Amen.
Mr. Aaron Floor, please.
Good morning. My name is Aaron Floor. I'm here with my wife Aviva. I'm really not prepared to speak. In fact, the only thing I have in my pocket is my car rental agreement, and I'm sure you don't want to hear from that. But, so what am I doing here? Obviously, I'm not from Richmond. We're not from Richmond. In fact, I'm from this little town up north, Brooklyn, New York. And so what is this fourth generation Brooklyn boy doing here in Richmond today? So the short answer is I'm here because of my wife. Okay, I can stop here, but let me go a little further. My wife is very close friends with Leah way back from high school days. And through that connection, I got to know Leah and Michal, and I got to know also Yossi. In fact, I met him August 2001, right before he relapsed. He was up in Brooklyn. He stopped by my store. And I was uniquely struck by the special aura that he exuded. Mr. Glestein mentioned about the term Gadol, and we understand that the simple translation of the word Gadol means big, or when it refers to people, it means an adult. Unfortunately, Yossi never reached that stage in age-wise, but as far as big, large, great, Yossi definitely achieved that and then some. And I felt that when I met him personally on that day when he stopped by my store. To the point where in November 2001, about 7 months after Yossi passed, we had our own little boy born. And it was Aviva's quote-unquote turn to name the baby. And she had a name from both grandparents, and it was pretty much a no-brainer that that's who the baby's going to be named after. It was the first son was named after my father, and the next boy was to be named after her grandfather. Grandfather, right. But at the bris, literally they're about to bring the baby in, I run over to the mechitza, and I say, Aviva, let's name him Yossi. She looked at me shocked, and I said, it's the right thing. We'll get Binyamin the next time around. And sure enough, Yoshi, you want to stand up and say hi? That was our privilege to name the first child after Yossi, Yosef Chaim Haley. He's the first Yossi, I guess. We call him Yoshi. It's close enough. Well, like I say, he's a Chaim Nevrach.
Take a short break and enjoy some refreshments. Please keep Yosef Chaim and Michal David in mind with brachas today, and as well as Shabbos tomorrow as yard say. We'll resume in a few minutes. Thank you.
this in, but there's so much time in between that the crying is already happening. So we don't have to wait so long.
I'd like to once again, please, Mr. Warshawski.
This year marks the 18 years since the precious Neshama, our dear and beloved Yossi, was taken from us. As God reporters has remarked 18, which equals high life, we are completing a Torah which is called Torah Chaim, the Torah of life. This had me thinking of how befitting to honor the memory of Yossi with the Torah Chaim of life. For you see, everything regarding Yossi was one of life and energy. During his much too short life, his wonderful personality and love of life positively affected so many people. During his lifetime, everything he did was with excitement, warmth, and life. Even at the end of his life, when he was going through so many challenges, his smile never left his face because he loved life. When Hashem took away his precious neshama much too early, in the hearts and minds and the emotions of all of us, Yossi continues to live. How appropriate to a boy who personifies life as a Torah of life written in time. Coming from the Yom Tov of Purim, we read how Mordecai responded to the decree to annihilate the Jews. He gathered 22,000 Jewish children together, and they governed to Hashem to annul the decree. The Rebbe points out that children, because of their purity and sincerity, and as the Gemara tells us, is a breast without sin, and the perfect candidate to annul the decree. This is what Yossi means to us and to everyone here. A child of purity and sincere, holy, and special child. We govern to Hashem that as we stand in these days of Simcha and Geula, we should exalt it to the complete and everlasting Geula, and Yossi will return to us.
Big simchas and mesoros tovos. Mr. and Mrs. Paley, please. Mr. and Mrs. Paley. Marvin and Eileen, please.
Four grandparents are all doing practice.
Okay, great.
I'm ready. Call my wife? Whatever you want. Where she is. You wait a moment or two? Yeah. Okay, great.
I think we did all the letters. We did all the letters already?
I've never. What's that? No. I'm not sure. Not prepared for that. Hold on, got three more.
Two more in a minute. That doesn't affect it.
I know, but go.
I want to see it.
I just have to wait. Let's go.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
Friends. Final letter in the Torah, which is our birthright, our bedrock. From Mr. Michael Taylor, Yossi's father, always. Yossi's Torah is complete. May it always be used for Simchas Besoros tables. Mr. Warshawski for Shechianu, please.
That might be good. You think so too? This is the same kind of knife that they use for surgeries. How long has it been working on 2 years?
Friends.
Died the same year I was born. He died year after.
We originally put it in Brooklyn.
He became a New Yorker. Friends. Very dear friend of Yossi, Cantor.
This is a very unique and special event. What better way to remember Yossi than to join together in dedicating a Sefer Torah in his memory? It's a pretty huge accomplishment. Look at this room full of people who came from far and near to an event right in the middle of a work day. And many of us already took off work yesterday. Needless to say, there are a lot of people who care a lot about Yossi. It's no surprise to me. Yossi was my closest friend. He passed away when I was 13. The last time I saw him was at my bar mitzvah, which took place right here in this room. There's a famous picture, it's famous to me anyway, of the two of us, Yossi and me, and a dozen other friends sitting right here on this stage at my bar mitzvah. That time everything seemed normal. He did happen to have a horrible disease, but aside from that, everything was normal. Which is part of why I have trouble describing my relationship with Yossi. People say lots of super nice things about Yossi, about how he always had a smile on his face, how he was so kind to all his nurses and doctors, aside from the occasional prank. And he had overwhelming strength and willingness to survive. And I'm sure all that is right, and that's true. That's not why I thought Yossi was special. He was special to me just because he was my friend, and we liked each other in a very unsophisticated 13-year-old way. I had this realization a few days ago when I was at 507 Chanticleer Avenue. That's Yossi's address, which until recently, I hadn't spent much time there since Yossi passed away. Anyway, I was over at the Paley's house a few days ago when Mrs. Paley showed me a piece of Yossi's writing. It was definitely an assignment from Mr. Lewis, where Yossi describes how he spent his time playing in the snow in January of 2000, a bit over a year before he passed away. And I quote from Yossi. It started out that we were making snowballs for a snowman, but we made them so big that we couldn't lift them. We begged Yonatan to let us make a fort, but he was adamant about the snowman idea until he realized that the snowman would never work. From then on, Yonatan, Dam, Goldie, and I started to pack snowballs together to form walls. In spite of my protests, my mom made me go home to watch Sruli while she went shopping. By the time I got back outside, the fort was finished. This is the Yossi I remember. We always had so much fun together until Mrs. Paley made Yossi come home. Just kidding. I'm sure my mom was much more worrisome. I always thought that Purim was a difficult holiday to come so close to Yossi's yahrzeit. The emotions that we're supposed to feel on each of these days are obviously very different. But I think we can find a commonality between Yossi's personality and those expressed on Purim. Purim is such an inclusive holiday. Not only are both men and women required to hear the reading of the Megillah, but the Rambam specifically states that we're obligated to teach our children to fulfill the mitzvah as well. And the custom to bring children, boys and girls, to shul to hear the reading of the Megillah dates back to the times of the Gemara. This inclusivity and sense of community that we should have on Purim is also expressed through the mitzvahs of Matanos Yonim and Mishloach Manos, gifts to the poor and to each other, which help ensure that everyone can celebrate Purim properly and interdependently. Yossi's legacy is also one of togetherness and community. Many of us remember how the Richmond Jewish community came together to daven and cry out to God to heal Yossi. These are some of my most vivid memories from when Yossi was sick. Yossi continues to bring out that sense of community in all of us. Just take a look around the room and think, is there any other event you can think of where everyone joins in so generously and everyone really wants to be at? While Yossi's Sefer Torah is being donated to the yeshiva, KBI is graciously hosting the completion of the Torah. The entire student body of RTA is in attendance, and Rabbi Kranz of Chabad will be leading the joyous akafos we're all about to experience. Who else could have brought us together in such a harmonious way? Thank you, Yossi. May we all continue to be inspired by Yossi and continue fostering achdus in the Richmond community and among all of Klal Yisrael.
Leah Paley.
I don't like talking on a microphone, and I also, when I wrote my speech, I must have written it like 5 or 6 times, and I don't like it. So I'm just gonna wing it. So I want to read a quote that Judy Lesson wrote to me recently. She said, "What a beautiful child with a beautiful neshama. Yossi has influenced so many of us during his life and throughout the last 18 years. What a zchus that is. He will always be in our hearts and minds. Think of it. How many people have that big of an impact on so many people?" And that basically sums up this whole experience, is that Yossi's made such an impact on everybody here, and you guys have all made an impact on me, because one of my biggest fears when he passed away, I said, and I don't know if anyone who was there then remembers, I said, we're going to be crying for him for the next 100 years, and everyone's going to move on and forget. And Lisa, you're nodding because you remember that, but it's not true, because I see people remember him, people who didn't even know him have learned to love him, and that's one thing that I want to say thank you to Yonatan for. And when I first started this project, 2.5 years ago, when we started planning it, we all came to my house, the little core group of us, and they all said to me, "And if you raise the money," I said, I said, "When I raise the money?" And they said to me, "No, you don't understand. This is a lot of money. It's hard to raise that much money." And I said, "No, I have Yossi up there. He's going to be advocating for me." And as Yonatan will contest, money came, it just was sent, it just came. And I want to thank everybody who contributed, everyone who contributed, whether it was financially, whether it was with their help, in any way that people helped. But more importantly, I just want to say thank you to Yonatan. Yonatan gave, and especially Marlena. Where's Marlena? Okay. She gave me her husband for the last 2 years. I promise you, this kid spent so much time in my house. He worked so hard, and what Yonatan gave me as a gift, that he gave me Yossi in a way that we shared him, and Yonatan loves him as much as I love him, and it just was a huge gift, and I have a gift for you. Shoshana, it's big. This is for Yonatan and Marlena.
That's it. Don't color paper.
Open it.
I've always said that this Sefer Torah, this baby is as much Yonatan's as it is mine, so I wanted to give him a Sefer Torah too.
When he was a baby. Yeah. And now we're orangutan. More or less.
Just a brief pause.
Oh, I got your few 10 minutes before it started.
Please take the certificates on this table. Please do that. Means a lot to the Paleys. As well as the scroll cards.
Space in between.
We're about to have Hagabah lifting up. Please. Lifting of Yossi's Sefer Torah. Sefer of Tzav.
That's the only parsha.
sermon, please.
Watch all those cords behind you.
Jonathan.
Carrying it like this, but not wrapping
Torah is about to be adorned and will be brought back out.
Take a picture.
One moment, please. Please stay. Please stay. Last step is put the Kesser on the Torah momentarily, and we will be off.
You took 100, let him wait.
his neshama came up to Shamayim. Rashi and the Rambam and Rabbi Yosef Kare and all the Tanoim and Amoraim, all of the Torah that he learned, all of those people were there to greet him. So too as we bring Yossi Sefer Torah to the yeshiva, we ask that all of the other Torahs in the yeshiva also come out to greet him here outside. Just like on Simchat Torah, repeat after whoever is saying the bracha, just repeat the pasuk after them. And then we will follow and continue with 7 hakafas. So we begin with the first Ata Haresa. Ata Haresa Ladas Ki Adonai Hu Elohim Einai Milevadoi. Rabbi Klastik is honored with the next pasuk of Ata Haresa.
You have to come in. You have to come in. Hey, man.
Why don't you leave it outside of the truck?
So come down.
Go inside, go inside. Go under the chuppah.
Go on that way.
Go under the chuppah. Under the chuppah. You can go under. By ons we say lechatchila ribber. Climb over.
Leo say, Leo say, Niflos Leva, Gidalos Levadam, Kimelam, Chastam.
Ein kamocha v'Elohim Adonai v'yen k'maasecha. Ein kamocha v'Elohim
Yehi chavod Adonai le'olam, Yismach Adonai b'ma'asav.
Bevoy Adonai le'olam, Yismach Adonai b'ma'asav.
Yehi Shem Adonai Mivarach, Me'ata Me'ad
Yehi Adonai Adonai Eloheinu imanu, kasher hayoyim avoseinu, al yazveinu v'al yitcheinu. Al yazveinu v'al yitcheinu. Go in the book. Go inside. Whoever else you want, send them up.
V'imro Hasheinu Elohei Yisheinu v'kabetzenu v'atzilenu min hagoyim v'ydos Hashem chadshecha v'yishtabeach b'silasecha. V'imro Hasheinu Elohei Yisheinu v'kabetzenu v'atzilenu min hagoyim v'ydos Hashem chadshecha v'yishtabeach b'silasecha.
Adonai Melech, Adonai Malach, Adonai Imlach, Le'olam Va'ed. Adonai Melech, Adonai Malach, Adonai Imlach, Le'olam Va'ed. Adonai Oz Le'amo Yitain, Adonai Berechet Amo B'Shalom. Adonai Oz Le'amo Yitain, Adonai Berechet Amo V'yuno Moreinu l'Ratzon Nitnei Adonko. V'yuno Moreinu l'Ratzon Adonai Melech. Even so,
Dr. Heyman is honored with the blessing of Ayib, so our own, please join along everybody and sing it along together.
Adonai v'yafutu eidecha v'yanusu l'sanecha mipadecha. Kuma Adonai l'mnuchatecha ata v'aronutecha.
Kuma Adonai l'mnuchatecha. No, you can't say no. You're the only coin here. Come on.
Koyanechu yilbeshi tzedek v'chasidechu yiraneini.
Koyanechu yilbeshi tzedek v'chasidechu
Bavur David Avdecha Al Tashev Pnei Meshichacha.
Let me know when you're ready. Do you happen to have food for that stuff? I'll start this one. Okay. You're not doing it. We're going to do it right here.
Amar b'yemahu ileinu zeh kinu lai v'yishiyenu zazane kinu lai nagil av nischa b'shu asayim. Malchus Echa, Malchus Kalei Lamim, Mshaltecha, B'chol Dor V'dor.
Ki Mitziyom Teisei Sorah, for Adonai Yerushalayim. Ki Mitziyom.
right after this last hakafa, we're going to go into the yeshiva for Aleinu and for Kaddish, followed by Sudas Mitzvah.
That makes sense. Shulkin is the last steps.
I know.
I love Torah.
Max, you got it?
Yeah, I like Torah.
Yes.
When Yonatan put such hard work into making this event, Mr. and Mrs. Paley. It says in the last mitzvah of Torah, "V'at kislu chemes ashir azay salamnas b'nei Yisrael, u'mantir teres Hashem afiyah." The mitzvah to write a Sefer Torah, even though kislu ashir azay, at the end of Vayelech is going on the Parsha of Hazinu, which is the Shira of Hazinu, but Hazinu, the expression Hazinu is because it's going on the Kol Torah Kula to write a Sefer Torah. The Torah is referred to as a Shira, as a song. So now why is the Torah referred to as a Shira? You see in Sefer David HaMelech said Zmir Sayili Chukacha. A tune. The Torah is like a tune to me. He was punished for that. Why is the Torah referred to as a Shira, as a song? It says that when Yeshua was capturing Yericho, it says Vayar v'yisas eina v'yar Yeshem et connected v'char v'shlufa b'yadei v'yem lo yalanu atam l'tzarenu Yeshua saw a malach. And the malach told him that there was a tain on Klal Yisrael because they were so busy fighting the war that they didn't have time to bring the carbon tamid that they would every day, and they also didn't have time to learn Torah. So Yeshua asked the Malach, so which one is the bigger problem? Which one should we take care of immediately? He said, Atabasi, now I came. Taisus says Atabasi means because he was referring to the pasuk of Atakisu Lechemes Ashira Azais. Question is, why did the Malach say, Al Torah Basi, I came because you were Mavatal Torah? Why did he say Ata? I came because of Ata, which means Atakisu Lechemes Ashira Azais. The Panovich Rav says that the Malach meant that if you look at Torah as Atakis L'chemes as Shira Azais, if you look at the Torah as a Shira, as a song, as something you appreciate, then you wouldn't have been Mevatel Torah. A Shira is something that a person always enjoys. Torah is called a shira because a shira is something connects, everything is connected perfectly. And if a person uses the Torah, can't go wrong. Torah is meant to be a shira to bring out the best in every person. That on Shabbos every week I learn with Mr. Paley. He's very low key. Doesn't need much to keep him going. One of his biggest enjoyments, he gets up before davening very, very early in the morning at an unearthly hour. Finish Masechtas. That for him, the Torah is the biggest shira. He enjoys it. Finishes Masechtas. Mrs. Paley is he doesn't even tell. I have to tell Mrs. Paley when he finishes a Masechta. He doesn't tell anyone. It should be a donation of the Sefer Torah. Should be a schos Yosef Chaim Shemayim. And for everyone down here, to be mechazik in the Torah, and it should be to everybody a shira that they enjoy, and it was zeicha kol tov.